Greetings.
Hey, folks.
Fellow Almeidists.
How you doing?
Who didn't get any Almeida tonight. Oh, well. Again.
Urgh.
It's kind of hard because, it's been, 5 episodes and we've had maybe
like
I don't
a
know,
fraction of a millisecond.
Like 5 to 6 minutes of Tony's screen time. So,
yeah.
From an Almeidaist perspective, I'm a little frustrated, but, what are you going to do? So
they've made up for it with a pretty intense episode, at least.
Yeah, so we're a little ass backwards because Kat arrived here halfway through the episode, so she watched the second half with me, and then we went back and rewatched the first half.
Yeah.
So she saw the second half before the first half, and then I told her who died just in case it came up, and then it didn't come up.
No.
So I hope it didn't spoil it for you.
Do you know what? No, 'cause I kind of felt it coming. I don't know why. I think Bill's the pathos surrounding Bill in the last little bit has been so intense that I kind of felt this.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been a pretty big spoiler all over the internet for the last week that, one of the big major characters is going, and I figured it probably wouldn't be Chloe because she hasn't really, been in the story for the last couple episodes,
yeah.
and she's not in the line of fire, so it's pretty much down to Aaron or Bill, and personally I thought it was going to be Pierce's time, but
yeah?
I guess they've decided to spare Aaron.
Well, I feel like he serves a bit of a purpose now because if Olivia's coming on, right, he's going to be part of that that unit of trusted people. I don't know if he's going to be official in any way, shape, or form, but at least it serves that storyline.
Well, I would certainly like it if Pierce became a bigger part of the season from this point on and, played a bit more of a major role for sure. That would be good.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a very, like you said, it was a very well done scene.
Yeah. The first thing I thought kind of when, Bill sacrificed himself and then Jack kind of walks up to his body and, has his little moment of reflection. The thought that ran through my mind was well, throw another body on the pile. And I mean that in the most positive light possible. Just because it's been a really long time since I think a death has actually impacted Jack in that way on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he felt more emotion for Bill Buchanan than he did for his own father, for his own brother.
Yeah.
Right? It's, I don't think probably since Tony died in season 5, or died in season 5.
Yeah.
Has Jack been sort of that emotionally affected by a death. And it was very timely because they've kind of been exploring this whole thing where it's Jack has learned to, turn his emotions off and has learned to, he's past that point.
Yeah.
And he's just over it and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly this happens. And
I feel what does Bill's death mean to Jack? Bill brought Jack back in a way that would really hit him hard. Just because Bill brought Tony back, and that moment where Jack realizes that Tony's alive, the whole thing, Bill becomes a new father, and in a way that almost runs deeper than a blood.
Yeah, well,
bond.
Especially when your dad is Philip Bauer.
Well, yeah, hey,
yeah.
So I mean, you're going from a perceived death to life again and connection again and straight back into death again, which is pretty serious. It was an important moment for Jack, I think, in this season, and it was really well played. I think that's why it had to have been Bill.
Yeah, I agree. And I also thought it was really, I guess, kind of fascinating how all season we've kind of been exploring this idea that Jack can do things that other people can't do, and because of who he is and what he's done and how he's learned to approach his experience in his life and so on, and that's really been sort of cast in a bad light by a lot of other characters, Jack Bauer is not human anymore, and how can he do all these things that he does and live with himself? But the very reason why Bill sacrificed himself so that Jack could live and Jack could go on with the mission is because he knows that Jack's the only one who can. And, you know, all of a sudden it was like that whole idea of like Jack being different from everyone else and being able to go further and do, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Bill brings it all back and turns it around and is like, yeah, that may all be, but this is also how it is. And, you know, he intrinsically knew that. And so he knew that for the greater good, he had to die so that Jack didn't die, so that he could see it through, because Bill knew that Jack was the only one who could. And I mean, Bill obviously voiced that, but I just thought it was really fitting.
Yeah, for sure. It just brought to mind, for some reason, I was thinking about Senator, what's his buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting on the floor, trying to get his nose in. That was hilarious.
Yeah, there was lots of, like, really unintentionally funny moments in the middle of a very grave, very serious kind of, you know, almost hangover episode. Like, you have Bill's big death in the beginning, and that's just like, oh, it punches you right in the gut. And even though, I mean, it wasn't, like, entirely unexpected, because we knew someone was gonna die. We knew this crisis couldn't end and everything, you know, just like, oh, la-di-da, everything's happy, everybody's safe. You know, there had to be some kind of loss from something this major, right? So, you know, we knew somebody was gonna go. We knew it was probably Bill or Aaron. So when Bill bid it, it wasn't exactly, like, super shockola, but it was extremely well executed, like, you know, very just, you know, right in the gut, like, and so kind of after that, and you're, you know, in the big emotional scene with Jack where he breaks down and he has his, you know, kind of thing with Walker. The rest of the episode is just like a bad hangover where, you know, it's like there's stuff going on, but you're just kind of like, oh, I'm spent.
No, I felt that way, definitely.
And I think the characters sort of felt that way too. Like, everything felt a little bit tired after that. Like especially this stuff with, you know, any scene that Ethan Kanan was in just dragged. And
it did.
It was just so, like, I don't know, lifeless. And I don't have a problem, like, so much with the character or the actor per se. Just, like, in this episode, it just seemed just like...
Do you know, compared to the very first episode, where I remember Palmer's scenes post-crisis with Sherry, those scenes managed to maintain a level of urgency.
And tension, and... I think because of the chemistry between Sherry and David, and between Dennis Haysbert and Penny Johnson-Gerald as well, like, you know, like, I'm nothing against Bob Gunn, nothing against the character, but he just doesn't seem to have the same energy as some of the other characters, and
I think it's just because there's no stakes for him. There were stakes for Sherry, there were stakes for David. But I have to mention, though, that amongst all that sort of tiredness and weirdness, Jon Voight's character...
Oh, yes, Hodges.
Oh,
yes.
my God. Awesome.
A huge spurt of life into the episode when, you know, it was just kind of like... I wouldn't even say it's dragging. It's just kind of like... Okay, well, what's going on? Like, it got a little bit interesting more towards the end when Jack's in the hospital and he's trying to get the information from Burnett, and then there's this other assassin sent in, but...
But, you know, I like this change in tone. I like this change in texture, because what's been happening is we've had a lot of, this has to happen, and this is going to happen now, and this is blah, 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 and it's been very heavy plot forwarding, very aggressive acting. And now we have, you know, this, like you say, like a hangover kind of feeling, where everything comes down emotionally and it feels heavy and tired. And then you've got this Hodges character, played so well by Jon Voight.
Oh my God, he's nailed it. He's totally nailed it.
Yeah, and there's more to it than just your average on the cell phone doing the next thing, right?
Yeah.
He's enjoying it. He's enjoying it.
Totally.
He's thinking about it.
He's feeding off of it because he likes the competitiveness of it and the gamey nature of it, and that, you know, I want to be one step ahead of my opponent of it.
Yeah, and he's not just doing it to be bad for bad's sake.
It's not like he's just this kind of, like, you know, dark, towering, ominous villain that's got little personality, and, like, I mean, he came exploding out of the gate with personality, and it just keeps getting bigger, and but it's not too much either. Like, that's why it's so refreshing to have, you know, like, a veteran like Voight come in and do a part like this, because he's not a main player, he doesn't have a ton of action, but the action he does have is just, like, you know, totally pinpointed, right in the sweet spot. And,
the line I love the most is that we're having fun now. I love that line.
It was just like like the same type of line as last week when he's like, let's play darts.
Yeah,
like,
hey?
You know, it's just kind of like this, and it just like chills you right to the bone when he says it too, doesn't it?
He's enjoying it so much.
Sure.
And the other character that I'm really happy to see more of now is Olivia. Her strength at the end of the episode was really fantastic, and I think she is able to play at the same level of intensity and commitment as Hodges. You know, there's we have these two new strong players that both have very strong and unwavering agendas.
Yeah, and speaking of agendas, I'm actually quite curious to find out more about what Olivia's might be. I'm not thinking she's going to be working against her mother in any way, but it's obvious that she's willing to be a little bit more ruthless and more...
I think she's a bit of a Jack foil because she's extremely principled and motivated. No, she's motivated. And she may take her objectives to a high degree, trying to get her goal actualized. I feel like she's gonna maybe go a way that her mom may not like.
Well,
because during the campaign, right? How did they paint her during the campaign?
Well, I mean, what they said was that she leaked damaging information on her mother's opponent to the press. I'm wondering if that opponent is Noah Daniels, or if that opponent is somebody else from the primaries, maybe. Like, it would be cool if it was Daniels, because it would be a way to kind of reintroduce him into things. But no, I just back to your earlier point, like about what Olivia might be capable of. I think it sort of speaks to the idea that in the world of 24, there are people who believe that the end justifies the means, and there are people who don't, and that's in all contexts. Like, it's been described, or it's been explored a lot this season in terms of, like, the whole torture question. But it exists on other levels as well. Yeah. And, perhaps she might be a character through which we will explore that further, in a more political type of context, a la Sherry season 1. Yeah. I hope it would be cool. Be really cool. I'm fascinated by the Olivia character. Actually, she was a huge bitch to Ethan. Yeah, but like in a way that makes you go woo, because he's just so feeble sometimes.
He really has that crumbling kind of victim sort of look about him, and she really nailed it to him.
It's always great to see somebody like young and female and spunky, like, just come out and say what's on her mind no matter who she's talking to. And we've been missing that since we lost Kim for a while. So it's nice to see a character like that emerging.
And very incisive, very unapologetic.
Yeah, I like her. She's like me. But no, she kind of started off when she was introduced as maybe like a little bit of like whiny, a little bit kind of manipulative. Maybe she was going to be this sort of like overacted, but no, I think actually she is a strong character, and it'll be kind of fascinating if she sticks around to see what the dynamic is like between her and her mother, and then all these other people in her mother's sphere who don't trust her. So
yeah, for sure, that'll be awesome to watch develop in the next few episodes for sure. I'm trying to think now if there's anything I really want to say about.
It's interesting, like, how fast Juma was gained, because he was in the Redemption movie, and then for the whole first act, like, he's the big bad guy behind everything, and then all of a sudden he does this whole attack, like, boom,
yeah,
and then boom, he's done, right? But it was actually, I was thinking when Jack was just like putting an end to him and just finally shooting him, like, it seemed like Jack enjoyed his revenge on Juma a lot more, like, for Bill, than he enjoyed it on Henderson for Tony, Palmer, and Michelle. It seemed it seemed a lot more fulfilling to it, Like, it looked like he actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think as soon as they bring up the complexity of the corruption in the government, there's not too much more to say about Sangala, right? Now you're on to bigger things.
Absolutely. And, Hodges' motives are obviously a lot more complicated, because it seemed clear from kind of the interaction that he had with the Juma character last week, and then kind of the interaction he had with his, sort of right-hand man in this episode, that his agenda, like, I mean, as far as his agenda is concerned, Juma was small potatoes.
Yeah.
You know, he was working with this guy as a means to an end to acquire whatever this weapons shipment is, and his agenda is something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I think Hodges is the most promising villain we've had in a long time.
A long time, yeah.
Possibly, depending on what happens by the end of the season, in contention for best ever villain.
I'm keeping my
You
fingers
know?
crossed because I sort of thought maybe Dubaku was a great villain.
Oh, hell no.
And
No,
he
no,
wound
no,
up
no,
being
no, no.
And I mean, he didn't, from the get-go, he didn't have the kind of presence on screen that Hodges does.
Oh,
right?
of course not. Of
But
course. And he was never intended to, but
but all I mean to say by that is I really, really hope they don't crumble this character too.
oh,
right?
I don't think they will. I mean, I think, you know, no matter what happens, John Voight will make me believe it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually not really all that familiar with much of Voight's previous work. Like, I mean, obviously I know he's Angelina Jolie's father, and I know that he was in the Tomb Raider movie, but other than that, that's about all I can say. Like, I'm not very cultured as when it comes to Mr. Voight, but from what I've seen on 24, I'm a fan.
He always plays a really great badass.
Yeah.
Like a really threatening, scary, chilly badass.
Yeah.
Because he thinks about it. You can see stuff going on in his head and behind his face, you know? And just ruthless and ugh. I just love it. I love it.
He's awesome. Awesome casting choice. Awesome character so far. I'm super excited to see more of him, you know, and see how it all unfolds when it comes down to the final confrontation. It's going to be pretty intense. I'm liking this whole angle that they kind of picked up at the very end where, you know, Jack goes rogue again, basically.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the setup is so obvious. Like, I mean, I thought, well, they're not gonna like make Jack a fugitive now. Like, Moss isn't that dumb, is he? So I was glad they kind of just like cut that off. And you know, Jack calls Larry, tells his side of the story right away. But
I was so happy about that.
Yeah, and Larry's like, well, why don't you come in and we'll work it out? And Jack's like, yeah, fuck that. Like, no, he's like, you know, I'm telling you what's up straight up, but I'm gonna go in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping now that this sort of like rogue Jack, like a la season 1 when he is arrested like at the Palmer breakfast, like, which has kind of been on my mind because the whole Not Symes things last week, but you know, and then like he's running from Secret Service for a few episodes and things get really intense. Like, you know, I'm really looking forward to hopefully that vibe coming back. And
I'm interesting with him, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm definitely hoping now that kind of Jack's like on his own again, and that Tony will play a bit more of a. Yes, I knew you were. That's why I just but, that Tony will play a bit more of a prominent role from here on out, because it's just been getting like so frustrating. Like,
here's
you know?
Tony on the outside, la la la, rogue, blah blah blah, and here's Jack on the inside. Okay, you're the one that can do this because you're official and you have approval and blah blah blah. Well, now no,
exactly.
Not as much.
So it's going to be kind of they're the only ones who really have each other's back anymore, like 100%. So yeah, I'm really hoping that this is kind of like the turning point where Tony will become a little bit more prominent again, and the Brotherhood stuff will start getting really severely intense.
Yeah.
You know,
let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, please, soon.
What's gotta happen?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not gonna have a whole lot to talk about.
But what I will say is that, you know, as a huge Tony Almeida fan, you know, obviously, like, my opinion is skewed, but I will give the showrunners credit. This season, they've had a very clear vision of where they want the story to go, where it began, you know, how it's progressed. And clearly, of course, Jack is the hero. He's the main protagonist, and so we are going to be following the story mostly through his eyes and his experience.
Yeah.
And of course, there are other things going on, but really, he's the, you know, the ribbon that runs through.
Yeah.
And so I think the writers and kind of the people behind the show have really stayed true to their vision in terms of where the Jack story arc is going this season and written the episodes around that so that there is that kind of like really strong progression from one to the next to the next to the next.
And then also maintaining their thesis. Like, what do they want to say about all this stuff?
Yeah, and sometimes it may feel like they're hitting us over the head with it a bit, but at least, yeah, they do have a clear statement that they are making. They have a theme. They have certain things that they've been touching on in different ways through different characters, and they've paid attention to that absolutely. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
So while it's getting very hard and frustrating not to have Tony and not to have like some juicy material for the website and everything else, you know, any complaint I might have about this season isn't solely related to the absence of Tony.
Yeah.
You know, because I can understand what they're doing. I understand kind of what their vision is, and I appreciate that. Like, I just want their vision to have more Tony.
Oh, I had to just mention the Moss damn it line was great. He joined the ranks of the
I think the Larry damn it count is now at 2. I think he did have one earlier in the season because we've got one of our contributors has in his SIG file on the message board, he has a running tally of all the damn it's in the season and who said them. So I think right now, like, I think Jack is pretty high at like 7 or something, but like I think Moss is like behind him with like 4 or something. So I don't know. I have to double check, but no, there's definitely a lot of damn it's getting thrown out and son of a bitches. You know.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to see an unrated version with real life
stories. I had to laugh when Hodges called Taylor that damn bitch.
Yeah, I know, didn't that because really funny? It was like,
it was because it was like, you know, obviously I'm wondering if maybe he and the president have some history, like if there isn't some kind of personal thing there, like maybe he's a politician or an ex-politician or, you know, a very powerful lobbyist or something in that realm, like to have as much power as he has.
Well, do you know, it was interesting because that line really stuck out for me. It really hit me funny and it made me go, because somebody as ruthless and calculating as him, it doesn't seem to me like he would throw out an emotional little meh. Like,
well,
like that,
I didn't know that it was 100% an insult. But B,
yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, I think while yes, there was disdain, there was also like a little tinge of grudging respect in there too.
Yeah.
And also I think, you know, I think the line was thrown out not as a statement about Taylor, but as a statement about Hodges, wherein, you know, this is what he thinks and this is how he thinks, and that reflects on who he is, although not necessarily in a positive light, even though the comment was sort of funny in the context.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. So a lot of good stuff happening. Definitely some direction for the next couple of episodes. And
yeah, I just want more Tony.
I do really want more Tony. I really have a hard time getting really engaged right now.
I really like the Moss character and I really like the Walker character, but I'm just kind of getting tired of them having the same conversation. Like, well, you're backing up Bauer. I'm not backing up Bauer. I'm backing up the principal.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm jealous of Jack because you obviously admire him and
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like either do something with that or get off it.
Yeah.
You know, like let's dig a little deeper into this Moss Walker thing. I'm interested in that, but I'm not interested in more repetition of this surface crap that we've already been getting for the last 12 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I hope they get a little deeper because they were dangling that in front of us like a carrot for the longest time.
And I'm interested.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah.
But not more of the same.
No, exactly.
You know?
No, good point.
So, I'll be looking forward to Walker going back to the FBI in the next episode, and you know, us seeing Janice and seeing what's happening maybe with Sean Hillinger and what all of the fallout from that will have been, and what's going on with Chloe. Like, I'm not really sure what's going to be happening with the Chloe character coming up, just because.
Because what is there left? There's no...
Well, there has been a lot of stuff flying around online about how Marilyn Raiska went on maternity leave to have her baby, like sometime in the middle of shooting. So that's kind of why, like, I was wondering if kind of this last thing with Chloe getting arrested is just kind of to take her out of the way for, like, several episodes so that...
So Chloe goes away and has a baby.
So she can go have her baby and then come back and finish the season. So, I mean, that's all kind of, like, shit going on in the real world that we really have no control over and, you know, I really don't know what's going on with. So, until we have more news on that, we can't really speculate too much on where the Chloe character is going.
Which is really leaving me hanging because I really wanted to see her her and Janice sort of start to go head to head, and they did a little bit, but not a whole lot. I just wanted some more geek juice.
Well, yeah, like their sort of confrontation that they had was actually a bit of a letdown after like how excited we all were to see like after their kind of like hack off in episode 3, and then you know, this sort of dancing around it, you know, while Chloe's at the FBI, and then it was just sort of fizzled. But I mean, it can't be over like that. No. That can't be all there is to it. So I'm hoping maybe, you know, there's less to this whole Marilyn and Rayska maternity leave thing than people are speculating, hopefully.
Well, regardless, we're going to be seeing more FBI just because Renee's on her way back there. Oh, yeah. So that's really great. Because I was really enjoying what was happening over there. Although, who's left now?
Well, I was hoping they might make more of the Sean Hillinger character, because they finally made him interesting, kind of in, you know, in that episode, the last time we did the video, episode 10, where, you know, he was revealed as the mole with this big, you know, double-pronged plot, and then he kills his accomplice, and, you know, all that. But, you know, I thought maybe they might go somewhere with that, you know, but now that Burnett's dead, where is there really to go with it? So I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do, because they're running low on cast. Like,
that's
you
true.
know, like unless they find a way to bring Sean back into things, he's kind of irrelevant. You know, Chloe might be out of commission for a while. Bill's dead. So, shit, we've got Jack and Tony. I'm sure Tony's got to be back next episode, because who the hell else is Jack going to call, right?
Exactly, yeah.
For help, right? Yeah, exactly, so, you know, there's got to be some good Tony Jack next episode. Gotta be.
And Janice is probably going to be playing a more major role when we see the FBI scenes anyway.
Much to the chagrin of many, many viewers, I'm sure. But
why?
I don't know. I don't know why people have such a hate-on for Janice. I think she's fantastic.
People have a hate-on not for Janice, but for Janine Garofalo. It always happens. I've always loved her.
I know, me too. Always. Ever since Reality Bites.
I know. And
ever since Reality Bites.
And every time.
Which is, by the way, one of the quintessential coming-of-age movies for people who came of age in the 1990s, as Kat and I did. So,
yeah. So anyway.
But
stop hating her.
Yeah, stop hating Janice, man. You know? I mean, if you got some baggage about Janine, leave it at the door.
Totally, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm interested if those who hate Janice loved Edgar.
Good question. Because I never liked Edgar. You know how I felt about him.
I do know, and I quite agreed, actually, with
you.
You.
Not at first you didn't.
I thought he was cute and cuddly at the beginning. And then his cute and cuddliness got annoying.
Very annoying. And not annoying in a way that grows on you like Chloe, but just annoying in a way that you just like, can they please kill this character already? And then finally they do, and I was just like, yes, one of the highlights of season 5.
Yeah, totally.
No, that's very mean-spirited of me, but I don't care. I don't care.
TV show, gosh darn it.
You all have your characters that you hate. I have mine that I hate. It's just all part of being a 24 fan.
Totally fair.
The wonderful experience. But what do you say we wrap it up for tonight?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done, I think.
Yeah, it's close to midnight here because we got started half an hour late.
If anyone wants to send me money, I won't work anymore, and I'll come here on time.
Yeah, they should give us our own TV show and pay us.
Hear that?
Yes, that way you won't have to work and you'll never be late.
That'd be awesome.
You'll never have to miss an episode or a video ever again.
Sounds like a plan. We'll write a petition.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, Almeida be with you all until next week, and hopefully we can get it together a bit better in the weeks to come.
We will. We'll try some new things too.
All right. Peace.